Hey, what's good, peoples? Man, before we get this episode started, it'd be dope if you toss us a like, a subscribe, and also don't forget to turn on those bell notifications, man. We truly appreciate it.
You're not my man. You're not my man. You're a genius.
On everybody, just for YouTube and later videos' sakes, I'm going to talk my shit. I'm John D. Contradiction. You are now joining the comeback of the Not Your Man's interview process. We used to call it the Who's Man series when we get people on here and talk our shit. I'm joined with Reckless today. He is.
Let's go.
We're going to be running these. Me and Reckless, we're going to be taking care of these bad boys. But we got two artists here. Both of you guys can go introduce yourself. We're going to start off with Brycon.
Hey, what's up? Yo, my name is Brycon, producer out of Frisco. You know,
your favorite. You love your hoods, bro. You love anything within a radius of your hoods. Yeah, there he is.
Yeah, I'm saying.
Bridges, beaches, and bridges. Exactly.
What's going on?
All right, you gave introduce yourself.
What's going on, man? Professa Gabel, San Francisco, California, Watershed. Hello.
What is good, brother? All right, so we're gonna get right into this interview real quick. So, starting off, how did you guys first get into music? Whoever wants to go first.
Let's see.
How do we what into music?
He said, "How do we get into music?"
Start with Brycon. How did you start first?
Brycon.
Let me see. Like, my dad is a musician, you know, so I always had like instruments around the house, and you know, even though like my mom didn't play music, she always, you know, encouraged me, put me onto a lot of good music as a kid, and I would be at like, you know, festivals and, you know, clubs and spots, studios all the time. So I just always wanted to make music, and as soon as I could, I tried to, like, you know, I struck out on my own trying to do it. So.
Okay, I'm gonna just throw it out there. That's a wide range of music, man. You went from mama showing some stuff, which is probably classic, to festivals, which we know what kind of music be happening at those, depending on the festival, to clubs. We know what plays at clubs. You gotta give us something.
Oh, I did cover a lot of ground there. Well, my mom is from mom is from Detroit, so she grew up on like Motown and stuff. Nice. My dad is like, you know, a folk musician. So yeah, these festivals are more like little affairs in the woods with a bunch of, you know, folk singers, stringy looking, half dirty white. More like that.
I feel it. Hey, what about you, Gabe? Like, how did you?
I might have lost y'all for a second. Sorry.
Oh no, you good.
Yeah, you good.
All right, so Gabe,
yeah, yeah, this is Gable, man. I started like doing music through my brother Cypher. He's like, you know, he's like my older brother kind of, and he was already doing music for a minute when I was like a kid, and kind of just put me on to different like golden era hip hop, you know, like it kind of caught me up with it and stuff like that, and then showed me that he rapped and stuff. So I was just kind of like following him like low key while I was like 12, 13 years old. And then when I was like 16, 17, I really started rapping again, just based off the 12, 13-year-old, like, you know, knowledge or whatever. And, you know, and then when I was 18, I started making music. So it just kind of was sequential or whatever.
Okay, yeah, you've been a student since the beginning.
You know,
I mean, that's as organic as it gets. So you find that sound, you find something that you just gravitate towards.
Yeah.
I mean, you just got to keep going. There's nothing wrong with that. I respect that.
Yes, sir. And how did you guys decide on your rap names? Start with you, Gabe. Like, how did you start with your rap name? And are you a professor of any kind?
And am I a what?
Professor of any kind. Do you have any PhDs?
He's asking about
I just know everything. So that's it. You know, everything I say is just extremely valuable information. But I got my name, same thing, like through like me and Cypher, just like fucking around, like, you know, fucking around with lettering per se. you know what I mean? And like the visual aspect of art, and they, you know, just the word Professa, he was just like fucking around with that, like trying to pick a name for me and stuff like that. And I didn't really catch on to it then, but then later when I decided to like make songs and shit and have a rap name, I just did Professa, and my last name is Gabel, so Professa Gabel. Also, my dad is a real professor, and his name is Professa Gabel. So it's just I'm allowed to say that too, you know?
There you go. You're a genius.
So it's just, the credentials are elsewhere. But
it's like a business,
you know?
like Professor Gabel and Son. You just like,
there you go.
Yeah,
didn't mention that part.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And what about you, Brycon? How did you set on your rap name?
Man, me and my homie were like looking for the biggest rap names you could get, and I stole my name from a movie, and then over time I just like whittled it down, syllable by syllable, to just the ass end of it, Brycon.
Oh, what movie was that?
It's called City of Lost Children. Yeah, and like the joke was on me, like these, you know, this word I picked out ended up just being like a long Latin name for a fish. So in the end, it was just like totally ridiculous, you know, bad decision making. But I stuck with it. What can I say? You know, the results speak for themselves.
Yeah, when names stick, it sticks, bro. You know, so we gotta careful with you.
That's a good origin story to a name, though. I mean, sometimes people give us some strange ones, man. Like we've had, you know, people who something that they were just named as a kid because they had weird eating habits. Some are like people just use the fucking Childish Gambino Wu-Tang generator way and shit like that. So, hey, if you got a good, funny story behind it, it was you working on something and it turned out to be a fish. I'm not mad at that.
No, I agree. But, man, you got something with the whole, like, people, like, using, you know, they get bullied as a kid and, like, that becomes their, like, rap name or something like that. Like, it's weird how people, I don't know what the opposite of a term of endearment is, but, like, people try to flip a negative into a positive, you know, that could be tight.
Yeah, I mean, it's good too because you own it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, backwards and forwards at the same time.
No, it's hell hard to make a name like that.
Yeah.
So
I'm not gonna do it.
So Brycon, so how did you decide to become a producer, and what was the first piece of equipment that you got your hands on to get started?
You know, I think when I just started making music, I was just like trying to do every rap thing you could do at once. So I was making beats on like with like some live instruments and like a crappy, like a Boss drum machine. But the first thing I really bought to make beats was a rock and play sampler. It was like this little thing. It was like made for guitarists to like just get like, it's kind of ridiculous to say this, but like the idea was you'd like loop a lick from a guitarist and then you could slow it down to learn it. But that doesn't really make any sense because like once you slow it down, like the notes instantly change. But anyway, that was the idea. And it didn't really like trick. It wasn't like it all for making beats on, but you could take two loops and not play them at the same time, but you could like record them to something else. So, you know, I would use that in a 4-track.
Oh,
this
nice,
is, you know,
nice.
In 1943. I
that's
was
somewhere, bro.
I was stationed in France. The beat making technology was very slim.
Oh man, I couldn't imagine like getting a hold of stuff you need. You know what I'm saying?
It was rough.
I'm curious. What are you using now? What are you producing on now?
I use the MPC 2000, so pretty much like the same era technology.
Old school.
Yeah, it's like 97 or so. But I use some other stuff too. You know, I like I'm not like a genius with different machinery, but like I can fuck around and make a beat on just about whatever. It just kind of takes a little more time.
But honestly, I think if you
hey, why is it called a 2000?
They're like
good question.
The way they put the numbers in order makes no sense. Actually.
Makes no sense at all.
Okay, I'll tell you the way they did it. Every time they made a new MPC, they would be like, "What's the most futuristic number right now?" So in like '96, just calling it an MPC 60 sounded super futuristic. But even just a few years later, they had to call it something different. So they're like, "Well, what about 3000?" And then there was nothing more spacey sounding than that, so they had to go back to 2000.
Sure, they're on the Xbox shit where they don't know what to name their stuff. Xbox One, 360.
Exactly.
They don't know what
Just they throw fucking dart. Bro, that's such a good question, and like the great conspiracy of electronic music.
Yeah, they can get away with it though.
Yeah, just number whatever. Why not more random of a number? Like it was like a grenade or whatever, like A43. They can do that. They got all the name recognition with a Kai, you know.
Yeah.
Straight up. And Gabe, so what made you decide to pick up the pen?
Sorry, I'm just talking to this guy over here. Sorry about that.
Oh, you good, bro? No, you good. So yeah, Gabe. So what made you decide to start rapping? You know, pick up the pen, and start making your own music.
Like I said, you know, Syph, when I was younger, he was rapping, so he was just showing me like how he did it, and I kind of just like, you know, picked it up that way. And later on, really took it more serious when like I got linked up with Equipto and Solidarity Records, and I put out like my first EP, doing, you know, fucking with them. And then, you know, since then I just been putting out hella music with the Watershed and Syph and you know, Old Soul Collective. Me and Brycon now, you know, me and Brycon have been working together a lot because of the Watershed. We're in the same group and all, but now we have our own album, just, you know, just us two really, but we have the rest of the Watershed on it, you know. But it's a collaborative double EP, you know, and it's very illustrious.
Hell yeah, brother! And
I never heard of that before.
Oh wow,
that's about a double EP, bro. I'd like to ask you more questions about that. Oh, my bad. Never mind.
It's all good, bro. So talk to me about the Watershed. So how did you guys link up with the Watershed?
Oh, we lost
Watershed. Oh, Brycon is that's part of his act. The Watershed. The Watershed was basically started by Equipto, and you know, it was kind of just like an idea that we'd all come together, sort of, you know, making art under the same umbrella and kind of under the same vision, you know. And we were just rocking like that for a while, but we naturally, like, about 6-7 of us stuck together, you know, and made consistent songs. And that's when we became a group, the Watershed, you know. And we put out an album called The Watershed, and then we put out an album called Don't Forget You're Welcome.
No, that was a dope one.
And right on. And yeah, we've been doing like lots of shows, specifically like, you know, Equipto putting us on a lot of his shows all over the country. Yeah, the Watershed has been, you know, amazing story so far.
Yeah, it's one of the oldest, most consistent collectives out there.
Oh yeah, thanks.
I appreciate that.
We're pretty consistent. How old are we? Like 6. We're like 6 years old.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy. Hell yeah!
But
dude.
Shout out to go ahead.
Go ahead, bro. No, so I just want to ask, like, Brycon, like, how did you first get into the Watershed? Like, how did you like first step in the door?
I think like I kind of met Equipto through just like mutual friends, and then we all sort of we met just kind of like hanging around the mission and building around some like police brutality and issues in San Francisco that was happening like, you know, around 2016, and like obviously it's like continued. You know, we're not necessarily like activists, but you know, we're connected to a community of people that have like, you know, just been trying to present some kind of resistance to like the ongoing police violence, gentrification, and all the other associated bullshit, you know, that happens you hear about in San Francisco and San Jose and everything else.
No, yeah, it's a big problem right now with all the gentrification going on. I do respect that Equipto does put a lot of issues to light, like the Palestine movement, Free Palestine, and like just a bunch of different police brutality subjects that go on in the Bay and anywhere else. So I really respect that part of your guys' collective, that you do make an effort to put out that message out there. You know what I mean?
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah. And how would you guys describe your styles?
No doubt.
Man, I don't know. I use words like
stoic, gluttony,
grimy, like grainy, stony, trippy. You know, yeah. Gabel was more like, stoic. Witty. You know what I'm saying? Fucking
stoic gluttony.
Yeah, stoic gluttony. That's excellent. Yeah, what else? I think we do a lot of pensive and contemplative. So we have a lot of styles. Basically.
Okay. Speaking of, just to dive into the whole concept of like styles and anything like that, have you guys ever dabbled into anything not necessarily hip hop?
Well, let's see. I don't know. I've done some like R&B, and like my instrumental music will get pretty weird, but it all kind of comes from the hip hop place.
Good shit.
Yeah, I'd say not really, but like I could,
Okay.
I feel like I could do some other stuff.
I mean, to be fair,
I could definitely do like some.
I didn't mean to cut you off. Go on.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, we do be bullshitting singing, some some Cole Porter, some Rodgers and Hammerstein. We got, we familiar with the classic American songbook, obviously. Mostly where rap is,
Okay. Hey, I figure I ask. I mean, a lot of times,
listen to a lot of shit.
Yeah. See, that's what I'm saying. A lot of times, like artists just in general, just to expand that, that artist mindset, you got to hear other things. You got to get influences from other things. But sometimes, you hear it so much, you're like, yo, maybe I want to try some other stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like that's something that even if it's bad, even if whatever you try is trash, it's an experience and it teaches you a valuable lesson. You know what I'm saying? Like you can then feel like, yo, I got a extra little weapon that maybe if I tweak it enough, I could throw this on top of some hip hop shit. Not in a like corny Jay-Z Linkin Park type way, but on some like something legit, not getting the rock type shit.
I like that. Yeah,
I'm pretty open to like whatever.
Yeah.
Even with the within a hip hop context or whatever, we're definitely like always trying to add stuff to our sound, whether it's some just new producers and new collaborators, or more singing type vocals and live instrumentation in the mix. But like with the Watershed record, we had a lot of producers and a lot of MCs, so it enables you to go like multiple directions at once without, like you said, making it like a really cheesy ass collaboration that like nobody really wanted, and things feel forced, so we just like in the natural way, we try to bring in people around us and people we might admire for a collab. But with this record, we didn't really plan it out, but we pretty much just have our like homies or the features.
Yeah, but they're all hella dope, so it's cool.
There you go. Hey, that's part of the collective. You can't just put a group together with a bunch of, fucking nobodies and people you don't know. There's no chemistry. You just got a whack ass group. You need to have that kind of love. That togetherness.
Exactly.
Hell yeah.
It makes
so talk to me about talk to me about the music scene in Frisco right now. Like, how do you see it? Because it's been through many phases throughout its history. You know what I'm saying? So, where do you see it right now? In a good place, or do you think like it could be better? Did the gentrification hit it affected too much?
Big stepping.
In 2 words.
Big stepping.
Big stepping. Explain.
What's that?
Stepping.
Y'all gotta put me on. What that mean?
That's the music scene in San Francisco right now. Big Step is Stunnerman 02's Big Steppin'. It's the biggest song ever.
Yeah, it's pretty much the big thing in San Francisco right now, Yeah. I mean, we're in like a beautiful place with the
biggest
music.
thing on the West Coast.
That too. you know, it's amazing music coming out of Frisco and the whole Bay, you know, like there has been for, you know, the last 10, 20 years. You know, we just need, you know, to continue in the same direction. People will always pipe up with the same, like, there's no unity. No one ever makes it out of the Bay. There's all this stuff that people say that like isn't actually true. Like people make it out of the Bay all the time, and people collab and support each other. You know, bad shit is always going to happen, but like you can't characterize it in some bullshit negative way because it's just not true. Like you look around and it's not divided up by style or sound or anything. You know, it's like there's a lot of fucking love and there's, you know, like no matter what kind of shit you like, you could find it coming out of Frisco right now. So, I mean, you know, we just need it's like we all need $1 million and then we just be set because we would probably pour it all into our projects and shit. You know, we would be like crushing the fucking game. But, you know, if New York and LA want to
music is definitely really good
store here, you know, they can run a label. My bad, G. But yeah, you know, tons of music here. They just need to come out here with the checkbook and the.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard though because of the gentrification, people moving now. There's new foreigners coming in that don't really like have, you know, that or that connection to the Bay, to the Frisco. Like, you know, the original people who used to live there are, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't really get that necessarily, that kind of drive. Like the old school people had.
Oh, man. We got my man, he buzzed out. We got Brycon buzzed out. That's them phone calls. They getting phone calls and all that.
It's crazy. Oh, okay. At least I'm not the only one. I feel better now.
Yeah. No, yeah. Reckless is his froze. That's that phone action, man. That's that phone action. I'm over here. That's why I do the computer thing. Nah, but I mean, hey, to keep it rolling with that. So I'm very interested. So in what's going on as far as you guys have seen. So I'm from Long Island. I'm from New York. And one thing that we do have, there we go, he's back, is when it comes to our scene, there's no unity, but it's not necessarily like, it's not like for you, I can tell there's a lot of scenes where it's like people are lying, like, oh, there's no unity. But the thing with Long Island is everybody's pretty snakish. And it's usually the cats who leave right after they perform, you know, and they don't talk to nobody. They don't hang out at the show who's like, yo, there's no unity. And that kind of energy just it's contagious. So a lot of Long Island, like you'll find small little scenes, but then they start to click and then they start to get a little, you know, head of steam. Like, nah, we had 20 people at our show. So now we charging anybody that's not part of the team. And it just it fucked up Long Island. You know what I'm saying? Like we don't get that many shows like we used to. And it's crazy, you know? So I want to know what's y'all scene like compared to that, hearing about that.
Man,
I'm gonna say like the scene. Hold on. Yeah, the scene that I feel like I'm a part of is very thriving. You know,
nice.
Like it's like people show up to the shows that we do, like kind of no matter what happens. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's the same people, but I think it's a good thing, you know, because like they're like, you know, you want to grow genuine fans or just fans or whatever, supporters, you know what I mean? Like, so I think that it's just like, it's really good. We travel together en masse to do shows, you know, so I'm pretty happy with the scene that I feel is in the Bay Area right now. Like there's a lot of different scenes, you know, but the overlap is pretty effortless, you know? You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of different, like, scenes. Like, there's a lot of people don't know about each other, but, like, it's, you know pretty quickly if you can align. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's fire. I mean, yeah. That's fire. I mean, I think that's how it should be. I mean, that's very reminiscent of, like, the old school days when people would just all travel out because that was just the movement. That was the wave. Nowadays, it's more, a lot of people want to, you know, be cool and all that bullshit. So it takes away from it. And then you got like fucking these young kids just showing up to shows on drugs and shit. But hey, you know, I fuck with that. It's dope to hear that there are scenes, too many drugs, bro. But it's dope to hear that there's scenes out here. We actually talked to a couple of cats from like upstate. They got a fucking strong booming movement. And it's like, there's people out there who want to support, who want that kind of environment. But it's like, you know, why can't people keep that shit going? You know what I'm saying? Like, why can't people keep it together? And that's where like the money side and like the venue side and all that shit fuck with it. So it's cool to see you guys traveling in mass and doing shit like that. Like, that's how you're supposed to do it. You're supposed to fucking represent. There's no reason why you should go to a place that's next to your hood or, you know, travel somewhere else and not bring your fucking hood. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're supposed to represent. That's going to make the show better.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, when you got more support like that, it only gets bigger and bigger.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's how it goes.
Yeah. So, what is the main goal in music you guys want to achieve, either individually or as a collective?
Brad?
Yeah, I'm thinking about that one. I mean, you know, I'm just trying to like be a better musician and you know, like express myself and kind of like give, you know, other artists a boost and opportunity when I can, you know. I'm always like, as a producer, you want to always like bring out the very best in somebody, and it doesn't necessarily come from a competitive place. It's more just like it's just a drive, you know. You want to find a sound and the level of like comfortability for people, and you want people to like, you know, like stretch their boundaries. And you know, just like make music from I don't know, like a good place, but maybe just like a fucking, you know, kind of like a raw,
like a honest, like a real honest, like,
yeah. I was like trying to think of a cooler word than honest, and I think I came up with a lamer one, but but basically that, like, you know, you like, there's always like a fine line of like trying to say something or saying something that'll like really connect with people and being like corny. So you don't want to, you know, you want to like make this fucking, you just want to like make something you can be, you know, proud of, and like, you know,
yeah,
I don't know, just keep at it, you know. As long as you're like making music that makes you want to make more music, you're contributing to your own vicious cycle of fucking music. That seems like that's enough for me, you know.
No, yeah. And what about you, Gabe? What makes you like, you know, what is your goal?
My goal, man, is to just, you know, it's mostly to just continue, but to just like, you know, live extraordinarily, you know, and just like do really well at whatever I decide to accomplish. Like, for example, if I'm going to make an album, I'm just going to like be like, I'm going to just try and make it sound as exquisite as possible. I'm really into things that are exquisite and great, you know?
Yeah.
So I just like, you know, I'm a moment guy, you know? Like, I'm not a big, like, I want to make hundreds of millions of dollars guy. Like, I think I want to do that by accident somehow. But like, I want to.
Yeah, the best way to do it.
But I want to make great music, and I want to act in good movies. You know, I'm also an actor. Right? So
cool.
Yeah.
How'd you get into acting? Like, do you do plays, or do you like do like movie skits or YouTube stuff? We're talking.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I always was doing plays, like as a kid, up until I was like 18. I went to like acting school and all that.
Nice.
And I've done like some movies. I've done like a couple of movies that are like, we're making some movies right now with like good cameras and good directors and people who have good phone numbers. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah, dude. It's good to have different like hats on, you know, different hats in the game. You do music, you do acting. It's all dope.
You ever cross those hats? You ever try to put like a movie skit or write something, do little voice acting on your projects?
Yeah, I do that all the time. Like, all my projects have that. Definitely, they have skits. Like, I did an album called "My Room Needs New Light Bulbs." I always have my friend Sky be on my skits. Sky Dow, he's a funny guy that I know.
Yeah, he's a good actor.
He's a funny guy. He's a cool guy. You know, and he's also a good writer and actor.
We both did like appearances in the Homies web series that's coming out. Got some like regular acting gigs coming out. You know,
I think that's a secret.
Yeah, we got skits on our record. You know, we have a record coming out in February.
Nice.
You know, we stuck with a culinary theme for both sides of the EP. You know, it's a double EP, which is, I think, the first time in history. So a lot of people were talking about that. But, you know, we try to bring a very dramatic flair. I would say for our first EP together, we really, like, the cinematography is great. And
yes.
We paid a union to everybody. We had great catering throughout. So just want to give a shout out to the Lumpia Company.
Lumpia, shout out to Lumpia. The bomb at Lumpia.
We're very culinary rappers.
He went to a culinary school one time to pick up his girlfriend.
Hey, that's an experience more than I have. Shit. So talk to me about the new double EP, the Corner Booth. Like, whose idea was it, and what's the concept of the project?
Well, like when we saw E40 and Too Short put out a double album, you knew the only way to really give each other the proper space to navigate on a project would be to make a double EP. So it's like basically about as long as an album would be, but it's a double EP. But as far as Corner Booth, you know, like we would be doing songs and Gable would be talking about food. And then generally we would like get food or have some food or talk about food and get it after we left. So I think when it came time to name the record, I don't know what restaurant we were in, but we were just looking around, you know, and then boom, it hit me. We're talking about
you sound like an alien.
Mahogany. What do you mean? Thinking about calling it mahogany leather bench, but like then this kind of was like it had a bigger umbrella. It contained more of what we're trying to do. So, you know, it's also kind of like, it's kind of crazy to think about. A corner booth is crazy because, you know, a booth will be like rounded and you put it in the corner. It's like a juxtaposition in architecture, which is another field of study that we've not participated in.
Okay. And,
I think juxtaposing is always a good course of action.
Hey, not wrong there. And what features do you got on the project besides the Watershed?
Oh, we got Ozer.
We got.
We have the individual members of the Watershed. And
we got Monk HTS. We got MC Pause. We got Site 4. We got.
Oh yeah, there we go. Site. I started to feel like we didn't have any.
Ozer. Hold on, we're missing someone. Is Jamie on this project? No, Jamie's on Monk's project.
Jamie's not on this project. That's weird, right?
No, Jamie's on me and Monk's project.
Sure. I think that's it. We got like everybody from the Watershed, Site 4, Ozer, right? Who's a crazy MC. And we had a little bit of co-production, you know, from this homie Gone that I've done some studio work with, and my homie Chris Haynes, North Carolina, and then Baghead, who's also affiliated with the Watershed.
Yeah, an audio chemistry master.
Yeah.
Nice. And what can we expect from this project, like conceptually? Like, what kind of subject matter will we be touching on in this project?
Besides food.
Yeah, besides food.
Absolutely nothing.
Mostly like, you know, like just like attractive companionship, like lavish experience, and like very like, you know, just deep poetic thought, you know, as well as like extremely perfect sonic foundation. Like, it doesn't sound like everything else. The sonic foundation is out of this world. Like, you know, you gotta imagine you know, like garlic sauce at Benihana. Like, that's kind of what that album is like.
I fucking love that stuff, man. Fuck.
This Pinkies Up raps.
Yeah.
I thought it was
just kiss kind of raps. Good shit. And Oh, no. Also, how many tracks can we expect on this project? I know you said it's a double EP, so how many tracks on each each CD or whatever?
You know, we had a lot of trouble with figuring out if there should be 6 tracks on the first EP and 7 on the second, or in the reverse. And I'm not really sure what we decided.
It's kind of like it depends on if you buy the tape or if you listen to it like on it.
Oh, yeah, you listen to the digital, you can split it up however you like.
Yeah, true. That I just think of like song for the playlist.
It's kind of like a double, you know.
Fair.
It's all good. We're going back to the food. Double doubles. All right. So,
but it's less than 15 songs.
Okay.
Definitely,
it's pretty much an album, but it's split in half.
Yeah, it's not as long as a traditional album.
Yeah. Okay.
It's definitely not an album. It's a double EP.
Definitely not an album. It's a double.
Yeah, we talked to everybody about this. It's a legitimate thing. It's totally a thing. So
we asked people.
Yeah, I talked to people. My barber said it was cool.
Yeah.
Hey, you never argue with the barber.
Never.
And
it is the first one though.
I ain't mad at it. So, what do you hope people get from you guys' music individually? Like, what do you guys hope the listeners get?
Well, I mean, like, you know, when you guys drink coffee?
No.
Sometimes.
Yes.
But you get like what happens to people that drink coffee and don't drink coffee, right? So like, you know, you wake up, like you don't have your coffee because like the coffee shop's closed, right? And then you get in your car and like your windshield wipers are broken. So like you can't get the burnt shit off your windshield. But then you play this album and everything starts working again. Like the coffee shop opens and your windshield fluid comes back and like you're driving and 280 clears up. You know what I mean? A little 280.
The sun like, starts coming out.
So it's that kind of thing. Like, you know, like we're recognizing that like there's tough things going on, but like we're there in anyway, you know?
We're there with you, maybe support you through it or something like that.
Yeah, or just like not.
Yeah, we don't have to do that.
And like that be the help itself.
But we're accessible in like a sort of untouchable way. Like
what's good about us?
Clingy. We're not clingy, you know. As a group,
exactly. We're definitely not clingy.
Yeah,
that's probably our issue.
People want to be our fans. It's like it's cool to give us your mailing address. I would never go to your fucking house. I discuss this with my fans all the time. I tell them, look, we're not going to go to your house.
I didn't think we would, but you know,
we're a safe group to be a fan of too. I think like pretty predictable in a kind of like a long overarching way. You know, I don't do like fireworks, roller skating. I don't do what do they call them? Amusement parks. I never swim. I don't hang glide. I don't fly. I don't use boats. I use buses, cars, motorcycles. I never walk more than one shoe on. So I keep it mellow. And I'm gonna be here for a long time. Professa Gabel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I try to keep it.
Gentleman of his own regard, I would like to further posit.
For sure.
Posit.
Oh, excuse me.
Chaotic. It's all good. We hit that 5-minute mark.
Yeah. So wrapping stuff up here. What do you?
Do you guys want to review anybody's song or anything? I thought maybe like we'd all review everybody's songs. I don't know. Did you, Gable? I could review a song for you. We could interview somebody else. Oh no, we only have 5 minutes, so I don't want to.
Wait, what's happening?
I don't want to throw a wrench in the works.
Let's just see what questions they have.
I have a few questions.
It's at whatever works.
Tell me, I got answers.
Go ahead.
Well, I've always thought that Long Island actually had some of the greatest rap music. So I was very curious about what you were saying
Rock
earlier.
Marciano's from Long Island, right?
And I was thinking about this totally unrelated the other day. There's a lot of sarcastic rappers from Long Island. Is that why there's no unity?
Well, honestly, from my take on being a Long Island cat, there are a lot of sarcastic rappers, but I think it's high key because cats never claimed Long Island. You know what I'm saying?
Ooh.
Like a lot of artists don't claim, like back in the day when they had to travel.
Refer to it, but not say it. They'd be like, "We're straight from the boondocks." Don't say where that is.
What about like Rakim and EPMD?
See,
well, that's what I'm saying. EPMD will talk about Long Island, but not really talk about Long Island.
Exactly, and people like LL won't tell you that he's from Long Island. He don't say like
they
a lot of
Strong Island.
I'm from Queens. I'm from the boroughs. That no one ever claims Long Island because Long Island technically is like a big ass suburb. You know what I'm saying? So I guess that's just not the cool wave to go. But a lot of artists just don't pay, like they don't show that respect. And then the artists that do kind of get big from Long Island, they also don't get that much. Like Rakim is the GOAT, but like Rakim doesn't get as much love as Rakim deserves. EPMD doesn't get as much,
which is a shame.
R.A. the Rugged Man don't get as much love as he deserves. Like there's a lot of fucking Long Island that just doesn't get that love until they say.
No, I get it though. That's true. It's like all the bad shit that's also chronically slept on.
Yeah,
basically Long Island is like the San Jose of New York.
I was trying to think of it, but I mean, imagine if all that shit came out of San Jose though. I guess so. No, there's been some stuff from. There's been some crazy music out of San Jose. I'm even in San.
No, it has, but like it's not. It hasn't really reached the pinnacle where people will recognize like, oh, you're from San Jose, or San Jose is this. You know, it's not really a conversation. You know,
maybe Frisco is the Long Island of the West Coast, bro. I don't know, bro.
No, people know San Francisco. Like, I say I'm from San Jose, no one knows what I'm talking about.
The most slept on. Interesting though.
Nah, Frisco sound like a good time to me. Sound like y'all doing something right. Long Island died out a minute ago, man. Like Long Island just went downhill and that was it. Like once it died out, no one cares anymore. Like who's the last Long Island rapper? He don't even claim it. Like Little Tekka or some shit like that. I think that's all we got. And like King Myers, if y'all don't know who that is, he's a ridiculous human. But that's what Long Island has now. If you want to know about King Myers, he lied about having like Pusha T on a track and all sorts of shit. And they like tweeted it back. And he got famous off of it. They were like, yo, I don't know who you are. And it blew up. And he's like, he's like a person now. It's crazy. Just from lying.
Just starting out this interview, I want to ask you guys your top 5 favorite artists, favorite rappers. You know, I love these lists.
You did a good job establishing this one because I definitely put Rakim as my number 1. I do like, I could just run the classic fucking, Rakim, Kane, Cool G.
Goat.
And then I like, I don't know, Ghost.
Goat.
Hey.
5 is.
Solid.
5 is like everybody else, you know?
Everybody else.
Like,
the last one's the hardest one.
Those aren't like the best rappers. 4 is pretty good. I'm not really good at lists most of the time, so
hey, that's a solid list.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say who's like your favorite, right? Because there's always like different phases of your life that are like the most influential moments of your life, right? You know, so like but like I love like kind of like Big L or Hieroglyphics, Nas, E40, Too Short, Mr. Fab, Equipto,
Davis.
Mr. Fab still killing it.
Man,
People
just like I can't. You can't like it can't just be Sean Price. That's probably. Oh
yeah,
I should have said Sean Price a while ago. Sean Price.
Big L is like my /Mark 5. Thanks. Took a while to get to that.
Hell yeah.
What I say? I said Nas. Yeah.
Good list.
Hey, it's not a bad list. I mean, I think the list is always something that puts pressure on people because then it's like you got to choose some rappers too that nobody's going to judge you off of and shit like that. Like imagine you come in like, oh, Drake, you know, everybody's going to laugh at you and fuck with you because that's what to do. But hey, it is what it is. But yo, you guys want to give your outros and all that good stuff? I know we hitting that mark, but Brycon, you want to start it off? Let everybody know where to follow you, all that good shit, you know, the hip hop talk and all that stuff.
Yes, thank you. Hey, I want to thank you guys for having us too. Yo, peace, Professa Gabel.
Man, thank you.
Record Corner Booth comes out February 10th of this year. We got a single out, Yes or No, Slow Water with Monk HTS and Ozer. And you can find me on Bandcamp, Instagram, Twitter, all the nonsense. It's Brycon Music, BRYCON. And our crew is the Watershed 415, you know, social media.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I'm at Professa Gabel on all the internets. And, you know, I just did we got the Corner Booth project coming out next month. Me and Monk got a album coming out, Niche Hors d'oeuvres. I just did an EP with Say Hey Kid, and I mean with DJ Say and Afterthought. There's just like so much great things that you should just look at. It's good. It's good to look at it, you know, and just go down the road of looking at it, you know.
That's a fact. Hey, make sure to send me that when that new drop happens. We'll get that out the review. I'll do the review shit. I'll fucking review it.
Yeah, he'll review it for you all. You know what I'm saying? Promote that
for the page. You know, fuck it. I'll show some love. Please. But yeah, let me know when
that'd be awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, no doubt, man. No doubt, man. But yo, Reckless, you want to close this out, sir?
Yes, sir. All right, y'all. Well, I'd like to thank my guests, Gabe and Brycon, for being part of this interview. Make sure to link down in the description below. Gabel. Yes, Professa Gabel. And make sure to hit the like, comment, and subscribe for more interviews. And also the links in the description below, you'll also see all the links where you can see all their music, the social media, Bandcamp, all that. Make sure you purchase the album when it drops. Make sure to go to the show, support them, everything you can. And with that, we out.
Hey, peace. Peace out, people. Yo, we appreciate y'all.